Midlife
Midlife spices.
spices.
Apart from online dating, do you think there are other alternatives to that you know of to meet people?
Yeah, I think there are alternatives, but like, at the end of the day, I would recommend more like dating orientated, like, activities, right? Because people say you can meet people, you can meet like potential partner, like through doing activities, like for example, you volunteer in the same charity, you meet someone nice or whatever. I mean, it could happen that I would say that it's more closer to meeting organically, but I think in these days and age, like again, like you will come across like that problem of, is he married or is he single, or like you will ask all these questions, and then like before you know, you get involved deeply, and then you find out all the things that you don't want. So like I say that the activity should be something along the line of like singles nights and speed dating. um,
Okay.
all of these I think are legitimate. Yeah. I don't know how popular they are in Jakarta right now. Like, does anyone do that? I mean, we
Yeah,
are in the middle of pandemic, so like obviously
there
there's
were.
there were,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're probably doing it
um
in Zoom now, Vivian.
yeah, that
Zoom
makes a lot
speed
of sense. I
dating,
mean, you
maybe.
can you can totally do, yeah, you can totally do that, right? Like, I don't know how it works with speed dating, but I'm sure they have like their own ways of like matching people and whatever. Yeah.
Mhm. In my opinion, there's also maybe you should also
Mm.
consider things like your hobby, for example. Start from your hobby. So
Mm.
if you like painting, for example, go to a painting club and then
Mm.
start,
Right.
involved in their activities. Because by doing that
Mm-hmm.
with those people, you would at least have one thing in common, right? Because you have the same hobby.
Mm.
Yeah, but definitely not, random places like restaurant, bar, and all that.
Mm.
It's very, very difficult in Indonesia to meet people
Mm.
through that kind of places.
I see. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think like over here, you could still like meet people organically, but it's like really kind of like again, the game of chances and numbers, right? Like statistically, how many people are still like single at that age and like happen to be like, hanging out at the bar and also happen to be your type, very
Mm-hmm.
low. So like, oh yeah, you were saying about like having like the same interest.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, yeah, yes and no. Like it depends on person, but for me, it's not as important to like have the same hobbies.
Okay.
If anything, like we do like happen to share, like me and my husband happen to share like a few things that we both like enjoy very much. But like also there are things that like not really like meet my interest, but I like that we have something like that, because then like I have the incentive to learn more about it, like rock music, for example. He's
Okay.
really into. Mm. Yeah, if it's not for him, I wouldn't have gone to like so many gigs and like go to so many like live music events, for example. And
Okay.
for him, it's the other way around. He doesn't know that much about like Japanese cartoons, but like now he does because of what I do,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Yeah, I don't think that
Okay.
it's necessarily important that you're bound to have something like in common, like one or two, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Hmm.
What about being
Yeah.
introduced through friends or relatives? Do you think it's a good way of meeting people?
That is like, I think that is good up till probably before the marriage rush thing, or like just after, when the pool is still a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like when you start reaching 35 and 40, I think it works less and less,
Mm.
just because even now I have like a lot of like single friends, right? And when they say, and most of them are females for some reason.
Okay.
It's like, I'm sure there are single guys. It's just that, for some reason, guys don't kind of like talk about it, or they don't make it look like they're looking for someone. I don't know why. So like the female friends will be like, do you know someone? Like maybe your husband knows someone in his office, like I would go on a blind date or something. But it's really, really kind of like we think hard. Who can we introduce? And like we just can't come up with even like a single person, right? And I think it's not because we don't want to, but it's just that like the older you get, like the harder it is. That's why there are things that makes it easier to find. Like I think like dating sites and all that,
Okay.
which
Okay.
like because that is like based on people who are actually looking. They will go on the site, they'll pay the money, and they make themselves available, and you don't have like one of those things like, oh, I'm not there yet, like I'm not sure if I'm looking for someone, or like you cut all that chase, right? Yeah, what do you think, like does it still work though in Jakarta?
Um, I think there are some of my friends who are,
Hmm.
getting their spouse through this way. Um, in a way, it works because
Hmm.
as a friend, you will always want the best for your friend, right? I mean, you will do your initial
Right.
filtering and then selection and all that. So in some
Of
ways,
course,
I
yeah.
think it still
Hmm.
does work here, because community is maybe a lot closer.
um
Yeah.
and this is for people of about what age? Like, or does the
Um,
age like makes any difference
I think at any age, it's gonna work because at
at
when
any
we're
age? Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
when we're older, we're gonna be having friends maybe who are already separated or divorced or whatever, or still single at a
Mm.
certain age, and they're gonna be paying more attention
Hmm.
to those people and trying to match them up with the other single people, although it doesn't
Yeah.
always work, but
Yeah.
sometimes it does.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it is still legitimate. It's like, so all of these things, right? Like online dating, speed dating, all these like single events, also doing activities, and then like being introduced, like whatever resource you have like around you, like use it by all means. I think it works. Yeah. Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm. So okay. And okay, question for me. Are
Mhm.
there like, do you think that the age gap is as big an issue if you are past 30? I mean, is there like um I guess like this depends on like who you ask, right? Like some people have like really, really lenient, open-minded like view on it, but let's say your own views. Like, is there like a lower um sort of like criteria in terms of like the youngest that you will ever date and the oldest that you will ever date, something like that?
For me, I think it depends on the person because I see that some
Mm,
people that I know, they prefer to be with people who are a lot older or younger for one reason or
mm-hmm.
another. Of course, everybody has their
Yeah.
own experience. Whilst in my case, I
Right.
prefer men who are similar age as me rather than a lot older or a
Yeah.
lot younger. Because I like to
Mm-hmm.
share things, and when we come from different genre, we tend to talk differently. For example, if I'm dating someone who are like 10 years younger than me, they're probably going to be talk about YouTuber that I
Mm.
don't know, right? And I'm going to be talking about this music that they don't understand, things like that. Yeah. What about your
Yeah,
personal
you're not on the
opinion?
same wavelengths. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, it's like I think, as long as the people involved are happy, it's like age gap is like really up to like, each their own, right? Like I don't judge people who are like
Hmm.
who have like huge age gap between them. But for me, it's kind of like I think like when I was younger, I always preferred like somebody like older, always like, even like a little bit.
Okay.
Um, than somebody younger than me, and it's probably also to do with like how maybe ladies matured a lot fast, a bit faster than like guys, so mentally I think like I was looking for somebody like on the same level as me, like mentally, and but like in terms of physical age, I think it becomes less and less of an issue to like to consider guys who are younger than me, like when I was still like single, of course.
Hmm.
Be- because I think like past maybe like age 27, a guy is like properly a matured man most of the time. It's like they already know who they are and what's their view, point of view. I mean, of course, like throughout life, people can like grow and change and things, but like I think at age after 27, most of the time, this is just how I see it. Like men are already like um, solid. Like they won't suddenly say, "I didn't know" or something. I think that that's like really unacceptable when a guy that age does that. But when it comes to like older man, I do have like like a limit. Like, but this is just me personally. I wouldn't date anyone you know 10 years older than me, like more than 10 years older than me. Like 10 is like the max. And this is more to do probably with like how I want to grow old with the person, rather than like mental age or anything. Because like to me, like the more mature the guy is here, like there's no negative to it in my, for me personally. But like I do think about, well, I mean, I'd like to enjoy kind of like growing old like with someone, hopefully. It's like a little bit longer, that kind of thing. So I guess that is just like a personal preference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in here, of course,
Mm.
it's more difficult for people who are older to date because
Mm.
for example, when
Both
they're
men and women, you mean?
yeah, especially when they're dating
Mm.
with people the same age, they're less judgmental towards men who are older to date younger women. Of course,
Hmm.
this age, yeah. But
Right.
if it's the other way around, everybody will talk
It's
about it.
probably everywhere, like also in Europe. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but then I guess it all depends on the preference of each person, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Hmm.
social acceptance is just
Yeah.
a bit
Yeah.
more sensitive here towards people who have that age difference, especially when they're
Yeah.
women, older
Yeah.
women
I
and
think the
younger
world
men.
the world is still very judgmental, like most of the time, in regards to age. Because like, yeah, when you see like a huge age gap, like I think like most people can't help but to kind of react in certain way, you know. Mm.
Yeah. Is it love or is it money or is it something
Yeah.
else?
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, what's your ulterior motive, right? Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Next question is, like, does having kids change the dynamics of like, dating someone? Like, does it make you date in a different way than if you don't have kids? I
For
guess like
me,
this is something you can answer better than me. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah, for me, because
Mm.
my child is my priority, so my answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Yeah.
movement, every decision that I made, I always thought of him. And after seeing
Mm.
someone, and when things get a bit more serious and or potentially serious, I always
Mm-hmm.
be honest with that person that hey, my life is going around my son, so there's no way that we can go further if we can't accept him. um, but I've seen some other women who are the other way around. They regret of having their
Mm-hmm.
kids, and then they prioritize more on the guys. But again, in my case,
Mm.
it is, but it depends on the person, I think, because some people think their child,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
are their priorities, while for others, not really. They're
Mm-hmm.
number, I don't know, two, three, or four, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
any
Yeah.
any of your
Can't be
friends who are
judgmental about that, but yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, any of my friends who have kids, and like, does that change it? I think it
mm-hmm,
it really changed in that way. So like, well, I'm pregnant right now, so like, of course, I'll be a parent soon, but I already understand, like, and also it's something that I read an article about how people's brain structure actually change like the minute you are becoming parents, like even like when the baby is not born yet. And that happens both to female and male.
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
it's not like just biologically like mother become that way, but also father start to kind of like, it's not anymore about me, but it's all about the kid, you know.
Mhm.
It's like psychologically you just become like everything is about protecting and nurturing this kid, you know.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I think in that sense, like but it doesn't eliminate the fact that eliminate the fact that like um a single person, no matter you have a child or not, like still desire to have that um partner in life, you know, that you can share things with, a sexual partner, you know. So you know, it's like, but which one is priority? I think most of the time that parental instinct kicks in and say, well, you know, it's like no matter what, like the kid is going to be like my priority number one, so like unless you can accept that, like you can't be with me, you know. I
Mhm.
think it's like most of the time that, yeah.
Mhm.
And when I used to like do online dating, like I always put like my criteria as like no child, because I know that I won't be able to sort of like accept competing with somebody's child. And that's like
Mhm.
also a very selfish thing to ask for, in my opinion, right? Like I wouldn't want to put a guy in a place where like you choose your son or your daughter or me, you know. It's like it's not fair. It's really unfair, right? And
Yeah.
it causes everyone upset. So I always put no. But like once I was approached by somebody who already had a kid, but like, you know, he's like, come on, like let's just meet, and like, you know, it's like you never know. So I'm like, fine, fine, okay. And it was like kind of like cool, you know. I know that like I won't be with him, but at the same time, like it's kind of like, all right, I don't think we should meet again, because I it's not gonna go anywhere. Like I for sure know where I'm standing. um but I can see that like for him also, like he never took his child to the date, like, but he explained what's the circumstances. So like um it's a very matured way of dating, because like you kind of like, you're transparent right from the start and say like, this is my situation, and me too, like this is my expectations, and like we have a mutual understanding, you know. So
Mhm.
it's I think it makes it hard to go wrong with that. But I think like with kids, yeah, it's like unless you can like completely accept um, and love, you know, eventually like try to love that child of your partner and become a family, then like you know, then you'd better not go into that zone, I think, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think it's nice of you to say in advance that you don't prefer people or men who have kids, because that way,
yeah,
yeah, rather than pretend and then,
yeah.
doing.
Exactly. I don't see the point of that. Yeah, especially on online dating, like all your criterias can be sort of like adjusted to as narrow or as wide as you know, you can. And I don't see that there's any point in like lying about it, right? Because the algorithm of the website, you know, of the online dating site will naturally match you with the ones that have the same criteria anyways. So
Mhm.
you're very unlikely to like bump into the ones that don't match, but they will tell you if there's something doesn't match, you know. Well, yeah, it depends on the site, but like, you know, you can usually easily see that and make an informed decision basically.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Yeah,
Mm,
but in general, I
yeah.
think the parents' instinct, you're right, will actually change the
Mm,
dynamic and
I
of
think
the
we'll
relationship.
override that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm,
my question to you is, do you think that there are
mm,
much chances of people 30 or above to meet organically
mm,
in this day and age? We talked about it
yes.
a bit earlier before.
Actually, yeah. If I think about like real life examples of meeting organically, I do know some people who did meet organically, and then like they end up, you know, getting married. Um, they meet in their 30s, late 30s, 40s, you know, and they do end up like getting married. So like I wouldn't say that it's impossible. It
Mm-hmm.
does happen. Hmm. but I would still advise people to kind of like put that extra effort and kind of like enlarge your pool as much as you can possibly have, like with your resource. Because meeting organically is a bit like waiting for to win a lottery. You either hit the jackpot, you're lucky, or you're not.
Or you lose
Mm,
everything.
I think. Yeah, you use everything. You use everything to like maximize your chances. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay.
What do you think? Like, how about you?
Um, yeah, especially Indonesia, it's even harder. I mean,
Mm,
for example, places like pubs or library, nobody goes to library. If you talk about
mm.
cafe, people are, very much into their own groups. They don't look around and then
How about
smiling.
gyms? Like, I heard gym and church are like two good places to meet. What do you think of that?
Um, really, I didn't see that that way.
No,
Maybe for some people, maybe for some people. In my case, because
maybe for
uh,
some people, yeah.
yeah, yeah, gym, maybe, but I've never really heard anyone who went through gymnasium. A church, probably for Christian
I do.
church, but for my church, I don't
Right.
think it's possible because people come with their family and then everybody knows everybody, and it's a very close community because Catholic Church usually is based
Yeah,
on
it's a
area.
Catholic church, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But for Christian,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true. That's
it's
true. Yeah.
probably more it's probably easier for you to meet people through church because they have a lot of activities, and then they always have new people
Mm,
coming and join their activities. Um, yeah, for us it's more
true.
closer community,
And
so
you
we
won't you won't ever have like exactly, you won't ever have the dilemma of having like different faiths or beliefs or something. So I think it's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah,
This
yeah,
this is
yeah.
probably like one urban legend about like how easy it is to find guy or girl of your dreams through the church. Well, I guess we're gonna have to like ask that to the audience, and they, yeah, you guys tell us if you have that experience.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting
Yeah.
to hear what they think
Yeah.
and experience. And thanks for watching our video today. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you on our next video.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video for the midlife spices.
You don't yet know.